Hello and welcome back to Series About Salvage and another video on the channel. So today's video I'm going to go through two vehicles that I've recently sold and basically talk about what it cost to put them right and how much profit I made from these vehicles. They're both from opposite ends of the spectrum, so it gives you a good idea that you don't always make loads of money from buying salvage vehicles and repairing them. But there is vehicles out there where you can get and make a good wage out of it. So before we start, as always, if you do like these videos, do please consider subscribing to the channel. Big thumbs up for the videos if you like them, and don't forget to press that bell notification. So we're going to dive straight in, and we are going to... I'm doing this on my computer as well, so I'll be looking away a little bit. So let's go. So the two cars I've chosen the Jeep Patriot. If you've been watching my channel, you'll have seen the videos of that being repaired, and if you haven't seen them, I'll put a link up at the top corner. Yep, that side. So if you want to watch the videos of the Jeep Patriot before this one, click on that link. And also the other car we're going to be going over is the Peugeot 208 that I repaired and bought. So that one came from Copart, the Jeep came from Cinetech. So yeah, the Peugeot 208 we're going to go through. Again, if you haven't seen the videos, click the link, top left corner, and have a watch and see how that went. Plenty of other cars on the channel as well, if you want to watch anything else. So we're going to start off with the Peugeot. And first of all, I'm going to show you a picture of when we received it, just to give you an idea of the damage. So it didn't look all that bad. So 2018 Peugeot 208, and yeah, front end damage. What you can't really tell on this picture is both headlights were cracked, and there was damage to the driver's door, which I couldn't see the damage to the driver's door on the auction pictures, but on the face of it, it's pretty much the whole front end was damaged. Always happens, doesn't it? You're in the middle of a video and your phone rings, and it was just a cold caller, so I hung up. So anyway, whole front end on this Peugeot 208, so bumper, both wings, bonnets, rad pack, intercooler, radiator carrier, aircon rad, all absolutely trashed. Window smashed because the airbags had gone off, so the complete dashboard. Joe, this car needed a lot, even though it didn't look that bad. So I'll show you now the pictures of it finished, and then we will go through the prices. So these are basically the photos I took for the advert. So completely finished front end. The trim around the grille was supposed to be chrome, but I messed up a little bit on the order on eBay and didn't read the description properly. And well, this is what turned up. I had to paint it, it came in a primer. So I thought I'd just colour code it, rest of the car, and it ended up looking okay. It looked alright. But yeah, basically painted the whole front end, and that's how it came out. So it ended up looking a nice car. It had 33,000 miles on this, a 1.6 diesel. Not a massively desirable vehicle really, and it did show when I came to sell it. It wasn't the easiest sell, but it went in a reasonable amount of time. But you know, you'd never know looking at this car now that it was ever involved in an accident of any kind, which is what you're aiming for really. So yeah, that's about it really. That's the dashboard. Yeah. So that was that car. So the price breakdown and what everyone always asks about is here. So this car came from Copart. The hammer price was $19.50, and then once you include all the fees, it came up to £2,261 to get this out of the yard basically. Now there were so many parts on this car, I could not list all the parts, so I've had to add them all together and give you a total repair cost of £2,200, which is a lot. It's as much as the car cost. Now I could have possibly saved maybe £200 out of that, because I did paint the bonnet twice myself, and both times I was really struggling to get a good finish with the lacquer. Now, I'm pretty much sure I know why now, but in the end I ended up taking it to a body shop for them to paint, which was another £80 then for them to paint it. So, and there was a few bits of trims and bits that I ordered ended up being wrong. Again, my fault, bit impatient on eBay. I could have saved a little bit there, but not a lot. You know, that was what it cost. Simple as that, and that's with me doing all the labour, so no labour costs there. So if you were going to buy this car, send it to a garage to be repaired. There would be absolutely no point, because it would cost way too much, and you could buy one for less fixed. So I've added in £100 fuel because I do collect my own vehicles, and I did also deliver this to middle of Wales. So I've added that in. So in total, I haven't put a total cost for it ever. So 4561, £4,561 it cost me. I sold the car for 4,800. I did try for more. I had it up for 5.5. I think I dropped it to 5,250, and then 4,995, and then I dropped it to 4,900. Had some interest then, and in the end got it sold for 4,800. So yeah, it was a bit of a difficult sell. It's quite a plain car, this one, you know, so didn't quite catch the eye. But we didn't make a loss, so that's the main thing. We made a profit of £239. Now, if you consider the amount of hours that I put into this vehicle, you'd probably get a better hourly rate doing a paper round, in all honesty. But that's part of the learning process, you know. I'm still quite new to this game. You know, in hindsight, it wasn't the best buy. I just got caught up on the fact that it's a 2018 car for £2,000 hammer price pretty much, and thought, I did my research, priced up all the parts, but you always find bits and pieces. Like with this particular car, I didn't factor in the catalytic converter were damaged and the turbo actuator was damaged. Now just them two parts were the best part of £300. So you know, if it wasn't for them two, you're talking about £539 profit, which then it's not too bad. It's a week's work. You know, I probably would have done it in a week. It's not too bad then. So they're the unforeseen things that can suddenly take away pretty much all your profit, and end up, like I said, not getting a lot of money out of these. The other massive issue with this vehicle was, what I do when I buy a vehicle from auction, I go straight to the post office and I ask the post office staff if this particular vehicle, by the registration, can be taxed without a logbook, because most vehicles from auction don't come with logbooks. So the main issue is, if it can't be taxed with a V62 form, which is basically a form to apply for a brand new logbook, you need to then personally really apply for a logbook and wait till you get it, because most people won't buy a vehicle off you with no logbook if they can't use it straight away. So with this particular car, and because of COVID, I bought this car on the 18th of March, and the logbook only came about a week and a half ago. So what's that? That's a hell of a long time. April, May, June, July, August. It's 4.5 months I waited for this logbook. Yeah, 4.5 months, which is ridiculous. So I've had to sit on this car all this time if I could sell it. Eventually it came, and yeah, I got rid of it, and that's great. Now on the other hand, you can go into the post office and they say you can tax the car without the logbook. So then they're an easy sell. You can just fix it, sell it, give the new buyer a V62, so it saves on an extra owner on the logbook, and they can just tax the vehicle, and they're happy. They're happy to wait for the logbook. They're not bothered, because a logbook isn't a legal document stating you own the vehicle anyway. It doesn't prove ownership of a vehicle. It just gives an address for, you know, if the vehicle's caught speeding, or, you know, used in a robbery, say, anything like that. It gives an address that the vehicle belongs to, so they can follow up. So enough of the Peugeot, let's get away from that. Now on the other hand, you can buy vehicles and you can make plenty of money on them. And this next one is the perfect scenario. So this is probably, so the Peugeot, probably as bad as it gets, as long as you're not too stupid. On the other hand, the Jeep Patriot's probably as good as it gets. Now this Jeep came from Cinetic. It was actually a HPI clear car, and it was a dealer disposal, so it's been traded in by whoever owned it before on possibly a new vehicle, and the dealer doesn't want to fork out a 10-year-old vehicle. And in the description it also stated that it had a clutch issue, so obviously that's why it was traded in. They didn't want to pay for repair bills, they just decided to replace the vehicle. Now these particular gearboxes suffer from input shaft bearing failure, which creates an alloys, what's it called? It's like a grinding noise when the engine is running and the clutch is out. So I paid. In fact, I'm not going to go into that yet. Let's just go through the pictures first. So these are the pictures of the finished car. Again, the advert photos. Looks the same as when I collected it, other than a good clean and polish. Because like I said, there were no damage on this vehicle. So all in all, this Jeep was a very nice Jeep. I was impressed with it. It was the 2.4 petrol, which might have put some people off, but it was the Sport Plus, tinted windows, 5-speed manual. Not the fastest thing in the world, seriously. Supposedly 160 brake horse, but it felt like about 60. Reversing sensors, tow bar on it, but I wouldn't have wanted to tow much with it. It went alright, you had to rev it or hard, and it went okay, but there were no torque. No torque. But all in all, a really nice car. Nice metallic black. Nice inside. Great low mileage. 49,679 on a 10-year-old car. So great low mileage. And yeah, all in all, a really nice Jeep. Now, like I said, this Jeep came to me with this bearing issue. I did my research. I managed to get the bearings, do the repair. So we'll just go straight into the price breakdown on it. So you have 2010 Jeep Patriots. Auction price, including fees, I only give £1,200 for this. It was, I think, £1,020 hammer price. £1,200 all in. Cinetic, again, like I said, I went to... Where did I go for this one? I'm going to say Gloucester. So a bit of fuel involved. I think about £100 it cost me to go and get it. The gearbox bearings, now I could have got them cheaper. If I'd have gone to like a bearings manufacturer, like I think it's Fenwick's around here, they'd be able to size them up, and they've probably have some on the shelf for probably half the price. But I decided to order some genuine Mopar bearings. They actually came from Greece, funnily enough, because this is an American vehicle, American manufacturer. It was either America or Greece, and Greece was only like 2 days delivery wait. So I went for the two bearings from Greece, £116, and that was for the input shaft bearing and the counterbalance shaft bearing or something like that? Something like that. And I replaced them myself. And like I said, I did this all on YouTube again, so if you want to watch them videos, don't forget, I'll put it up again in that top corner, the videos of this Jeep being repaired, and you can watch. And it shows it all. They're just on the end of the gearbox in the passenger arch. There's a little cover you can take off, and they're right there. You can pull them out, put new ones in, gearbox oil flush, and yeah, job were done. It was fixed. So this came with full service history as well, which was another massive selling point, and not something that they put on the auction sheet, and they quite often don't. It had fully stamped book, but the last service I think it said was 41,000, so I thought, it's done 8 since, I'll just give it a good service. It's got plenty of money in the car, I'll service it ready for the new owner. So I even got the coil packs, they were £110. The full service kit, it was about 100, I can't remember exactly, something like that. And that was with the gearbox oil as well. There was a centre cap missing when I first collected it, so I ordered a set of centre caps. They were £25. Like I said, I put the fuel at 150 because it cost me about £100 to go and get it, and then I also delivered it up to oh Christ, I go so many places. It might have been Gloucester where I took it to, not collected it from. But anyway, it's about an extra £50 to go and drop it off, which is why the sold price is £3,050. Because I sold it for £3,000, they paid £50 for the delivery. So anyway, the total cost for me to repair that vehicle, including buying it, was £1,701. Now that's an absolute bargain, isn't it? £1,700 for that cheap, fully fixed, fully serviced, done. And I put it up for sale for £3,000, and literally, I think it was on eBay for 10 minutes, and a guy rang, said if you bring it up to us, and it's as it's shown in the auction on eBay, we'll take it. He tried to knock me down. I said no, I can't. 3,000 is a bargain as it is. He accepted it, took it up, they paid the money, and yeah, probably the easiest sell ever, and a profit of £1,349. Now, I probably had about half a day's labour in that car, and I came away with a profit of £1,349. Now that's probably never going to happen again, in all honesty. It's probably the best buy ever, and I was gobsmacked when I was bidding on it, why there were no other interest, and I won it, and until I'd actually gone and got it, I was actually starting to get worried why I'd won it so cheap. In my eyes, why it was so cheap, and but even though like the rear tyres were nearly brand new on it, the fronts had more than half life on it. It was a really good car. So like I said, there are two separate ends of what you can end up with from a salvage car. You can end up with putting a hell of a lot of work into them and get very little out. You can end up putting very little work into them and doing really well out of them. You just got to be very clever of the ones that you buy and don't buy. Get a price in your head, do all your research, make sure that there's some money in there for miscellaneous things that you're not going to know about until you get it. And like I said, just do your research and make sure, if anything, go in really low as a maximum figure. So then there's no real possible way you can lose out, if you know what I mean. I've bought a few cars in the past and even recently where I've pushed myself a little bit on what I bid, and it causes problems further down the line. Don't be afraid to just walk away from the auction. If someone's fighting you for it, just walk away. There'll always be another one that comes through. Don't get fixated on one car and just start bidding with your heart, because you'll end up losing. People do this for a living, all day, every day. They'll have the parts sat there on shelves in breakers for these cars, which means they can bid more for them. So be very careful. And yeah, that's probably going to be about it then for this video. You've been asking about these price breakdowns, so I thought I'd do it in a little bit of a different way, and yeah, show you the ins and outs, and like I said, what can and can't happen from buying salvage vehicles. So yeah, that's about it for this one. As always, thank you very much for watching, and as said at the beginning, if you do like these videos, please do consider subscribing, and don't forget, if you like, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers.